What's going on, everybody? We're here live with a new episode with the one and only Estelle Bailey-Babenzien.
Yes.
Estelle, what's going on? Talk to me.
Hi, Christian.
How are you? How's everything?
Jolly good.
I
I,
love
I
that.
would say jolly good because Christmas is coming and
It is.
and I like the jolly and the merry and the magic of Christmas.
I
So.
love that. Definitely the change of seasons is happening super fast.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm in this space now, it feels very cozy. So it feels like that therapeutic holiday season coming through. So
Yeah.
I love the space, and it's funny because it reminds me of the first time we connected in person for the first time, and it was actually in this space. Read Magazine. Shout out to Jeff Staple and the entire team.
Yeah.
Abigail actually shared the invite to come and just celebrate you and honor you in that moment. That's when we connected. And it was in this same room that you and I had a really thoughtful, I would say, very intentional conversation. And at that time, I was like, Estelle, I definitely would love for you to just come onto the show and look at that a few months after we're here. So
Yeah.
thank you.
I love that you follow up and you follow through and you know, like kudos to you.
Thank you. Because I feel like when I have a vision and I want something, I
Mm-hmm.
go in there, and especially if the person's genuine. And
Right.
I think with you, your energy, the way that you continue to do and the way you maneuver, Noah and so many other things, it's with that intentionality. So we're in
Right.
this beautiful space. You call it the oversized salon, right?
Yeah.
Many instances and stuff with so
Yeah.
many hidden gems. And you go in here and there's so many hidden treasures in here. What makes this space so special to you, and what do you want people to take away as they walk into here?
Um, well, I think the most special thing about this space we haven't quite captured yet
Mm,
because we've been like short staffed and looking for the right person
mm,
to make this place their living room. And it should really feel like somebody's living room or an oversized dressing room, I would say,
yeah,
salon, like you said, where it's intimate, where you come in and you actually spend time.
yeah,
Like, don't feel rushed, slow down, feel the fabrics, try things on, peruse the books, play a record. The whole idea of this place is just have conversation.
mm,
Um, it's fine if there's only two people in here, like
right.
yourself and the salesperson. Like
Yeah,
that's what I would like. I would like that vibe of just being in someone's home and kicking it for a while and
yeah,
like having fun, trying stuff on, not in a rush. Get suited and booted and look at a collectible book
right.
or the arts. And, we always have exhibitions in here and there's like just lots of topics of conversation if you can take the time
Absolutely.
to enjoy that shopping experience. And even if you don't buy anything,
Mm,
you'll just leave with some new ideas or just some joy,
yeah,
you know?
I love that. Why is that sense of community so important to you?
I think maybe I have a small family.
Mm,
I'm also a social person. And so my friends are my family.
mm,
And that security I feel from friends and community that are honest and truthful and have integrity and intelligence, it just makes me feel safe. It gives me a purpose, or at least it supports my purpose,
mm,
and I just think as human beings on this earth, we should all have some sort of sense of purpose.
yeah,
And even if that purpose is just to spread some joy and some higher consciousness of some sort, that's enough,
mm,
and joining together with community that have the same thoughts on life
for sure.
just makes that stronger. So I think that can be powerful.
Yeah, I agree.
Joining together in community can be really powerful. And like minds need to, even if you have different opinions about things, but like mindedness in terms of feeling a sense of responsibility
Mm,
for our planet and
yeah,
for each other.
right.
Um, that can be super optimistic. And right, that's what we need.
Absolutely, especially now in times, so many things are changing and shifting, and I feel like
Yeah.
community is one of those things that sometimes you either have it or you're seeking for it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think there's so many people in the world like longing for a safe space, for community, for betterment, or just friends in general, or keeping those friends.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned something important. You said purpose, right? And I think that's also a big defining moment for a lot of us, like defining purpose. What is our purpose? And
Mm-hmm.
so many questions, especially as I get older, I'm thinking about I've done so many things in life. Like, what is that purpose, right? For you, you mentioned a couple of times. What would you say your purpose is?
Oof, that's a big question. And I ask myself that from time to time. Something I read just this morning really made me think, well, what is my purpose?
Mm.
Because when we started the brand, we had the purpose of doing fashion or having a brand and making it have the purpose of thinking about sustainability and responsibility
Mm.
in a different way, in a way that, yeah, you can have cool, interesting, edgy clothing or graphics.
Right.
It doesn't have to be crunchy granola, like square
Right.
vibes
Exactly.
for it to be thoughtful in
Mhm.
terms of how we care about our planet and the decisions that we make and how things were made and what they're made from.
Right.
Um, but still, the world doesn't need more stuff.
Mm.
Like, do we really need more clothes? So if you're really being responsible, ultimately you're just going to be wearing secondhand clothes all the time.
Yeah.
Um, So I'm like, yes, we're still doing this. We're providing a living for people, including ourselves. We're doing what we do with love and intention. Um, but I think my purpose is a little bit bigger than that. Like we've got the brand now, and we'll always have it. We didn't build the brand just to sell it. It's not a business maneuver.
For sure.
It's a vehicle for us to create change in the small ways that we can. Um, but I think now, I have a kid. She's 10.
Congrats. Yeah.
And raising a conscious, loving, kind human being is a big purpose.
Mm.
That's really important. And I think just continuing to sort of spread joy and
Yeah.
positivity and optimism is my everyday purpose.
For sure.
Just existing amongst being kind,
Yes.
you know, trying to encourage others to like believe in themselves and be kind. Yeah, I live with that purpose.
I love that.
I think later I have other ideas of stuff that I would like to do,
Hmm.
how I could do that on a bigger scale. Like, my Instagram's the Dream Awake and
Right.
my design company is called Dream Awake. And ultimately I want to inspire others to always be able to dream awake. I want to inspire children to do that. And I think it's not something that you just wake up with. You have to know that you can do it. You have
Mhm.
to learn about meditation and manifestation. And once you understand that that's something that you can do and learn, you can learn it and practice it, it's like a light bulb goes off.
Right.
It's something that should be taught in schools, but
Mm.
it's not. So ultimately, I always had this idea of doing like some kids camps where they would learn this
Mm.
idea of thinking and goal setting and working towards that. Um, but bandwidth is a bit of an issue. So we'll see.
Right.
But that would be great. In the meantime, I'm just doing it in small ways I can with my community.
That's beautiful. And I definitely want to, tap into a lot of those things too, dream awake. We're going to get to it in a little bit. But for the folks who may just be introduced to Noah, for me, I got introduced to Noah just through the community aspect, through the intentionality, through the quality. That's something that, regardless of how much you expand, quality for Noah is always top tier, right?
Mm-hmm.
You never forfeit the quality because
Right,
it's always at the forefront.
right.
For the folks who may just be introduced to Noah, why did the brand initially started for you and your husband, and why do you feel like Noah is a brand that was needed in this world?
So my husband had the brand several years before I met him, and then he shut it down. He had it; it was like commercial success. He was in, you know, Barney's and people. It was critically acclaimed, but at that time, I just don't think he was in terms of the business element
Mm.
of it, and it was also wholesale. It just wasn't a model that he wanted to pursue, so he shut it. Went back to Supreme. And then when I met him, he was just feeling a little disenchanted with the industry and the
Mm.
messaging. And I'd also at that time been looking to open a store that felt like a home, that was highly curated and responsible. And I had a lot of ideas about retail and, and what a brand should be, a
For sure.
purpose driven brand. So we was just like, yeah, let's do Noah again, and just really make it what we want it to be,
Mm.
ethically, responsibly. So we did, and we wanted it to be a vehicle for giving back
Mm.
whenever we can, to support things that we believe in, to have a voice, and just do things a little bit differently. Like, not, we manufacture everything in places that we know the workers are treated fairly
For
and
sure.
paid fairly, and we use really high quality fabrics. Brendan designs all the clothes. He's obsessed with the
Right.
fabrics and the
Does
quality.
an amazing job.
And now we've introduced a few women's pieces, which
We
I
see it
get to
right here.
design and stuff. Actually, that's all menswear, but we do have some dresses and some
Oh,
skirts.
I was like, hey, that
I
could
mean,
go both ways.
it's
Yeah, yeah, for
unisex.
sure.
I mean,
Absolutely.
everything is
Yeah, everything
unisex
here. Yeah.
these days. In actual fact, when I did the skirts and the wrap skirts, I'm like, guys could wear this. We have a jumpsuit. Like, I'd love to see an elegant man wearing this. It would be
For
great.
sure.
Like, clothes should be unisex. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, we both believe that it's what you do in the clothes that matter more than the clothes themselves.
For sure.
It's like, yeah, you can have some beautiful classic pieces, and there will be some elements of style and trend to them because it's a representation of our current time.
Right.
But really, it's like the person that brings it to life. And that's what I was even saying about this place, this store.
Yeah.
It's like, whoever's in here, that's the person that's going to bring something to life.
Absolutely.
You know? So, and that's how we feel. It's like, clothes are great, like, but nothing's too precious. It's like, what you do in the clothes is what makes something great or not.
Absolutely. And I think you mentioned this, and I think in another touch points, and you had mentioned something about, like, when you have something so important, spend X amount of money for that cardigan, for that jacket, wear it. You don't have to hold on to it, right?
Right.
And I feel like there's so
Yeah.
many, like, I guess, the industry where we get into this funnel of exclusivity, the hype, the one-on-ones, and we want to hold on to them for the resale gain, right? But I think there's so much beauty and so much time that could happen. But I think there's so much timeless pieces that when you actually wear them, you actually appreciate the fabric and the intention that went behind it.
And also, there's this abundance.
Mm.
Like, when you buy something that's of high quality and it's meant to last a really long time,
Absolutely.
it can become a heritage piece. That doesn't mean to say, like, bash it and don't take care of it. Obviously, you want to look after it because you want to be mindful. But at the same time, like, the rugged, the raw, the wear and the ruggedness of something,
For sure.
and the memories that you create wearing that, they also tell a story.
Right.
Like this A2 jacket, it's inspired by a vintage one that my husband has that's so worn, and what looks beautiful about it is all the wear and tear and the scratches. And same with that
Yeah, I
leather
saw this one
jacket
right here.
there. Like, it's an amazing jacket. It's built to last a lifetime. The older it gets, the better it's going to be. And I just think that's the same way with a lot of things. When you buy things that are quality, the older they get, the better they are.
Absolutely.
So it's, except for maybe sneakers that you want to keep super nice.
Right, right. Or you gotta get polished, once in a while.
Right, exactly.
I think for you, you do an amazing thing. And what I really was attracted by your story, just doing my research and doing my homework, is just the way of thinking, right? You said that you have this level of stillness where you feel like you don't hone into anxiety because you know that it's all gonna work out. We have faith that it's all gonna work out, right? And I think that level of stillness or that level of peace is needed for an entrepreneur, right? Because it comes with a lot of highs and lows. I'm curious to know, from your perspective, where does that faith come from, and what have you learned about yourself throughout the journey?
I think the faith comes from, first of all, just understanding and reading a lot about this kind of stuff from a younger age. Hence why I even want to create these camps for kids to also learn about it from a younger age. I think I was in my early 20s when it really started to click in. And I started to practice it. But actually, before that, you're young, you're fearless anyway. And then fears start to set in like the 20s, and then you start to slow down or hold on to things, and then you're dealing with your trauma and whatever it might be. Life kind of can tend to, like, slow you down a little bit. But I've always been very gregarious and really just, I guess, I've had this sense of faith because I had a lot of love from my unconditional love and support from my parents. And they were they were my foundation, you know, and they made me feel like I could do anything and go anywhere and be okay. So that was the first step. And then, you know, life sets in. Although my mom, she was a Christian woman, she believed in God. And I sort of believed in God, but I was like, not really into religion. But then I really understood what faith was, because God is everything. You know, God lives within us and is in all moments of all things. So that omnipresent and understanding that, and that energy, the energy of the unseen, is so powerful. Right. So then when I started to practice that, or I had some like I had some revelations where I would test it out, and then it would manifest. And be like, whoa, this is really powerful. It's truly real. And it just really, it really set in my faith to a whole nother level, where I'm like, yeah, I'm all in. Let me just relax. It's going to be good. And as soon as I did that for reals, my life just got so much better. I was already a pretty comfortable person. I've never suffered from anxiety, luckily, but that just really took it to the next level. And I'm just so at peace. I can go to sleep at night. You know, now I'm like a little perimenopausal, so I wake up. But going to sleep at night with a clear conscience, that's happiness. You know, knowing that you're doing right by people, you tell the truth, you know, you don't have worry. That is peace. That is happiness. So you say your prayers. I guess that's why people say you should say your prayers at night before you go to sleep.
Yeah, I remember Denzel mentioned something about like keeping shoes underneath the bed, so when you have to get them in the morning or at night, you take them down and you're already on your knees. So that's where you pray. So that's something that always stuck with me. And I might be butchering. You might have said it
Right.
in different terms, but the idea of just being able, like you say, and saying your prayers and being able to kind of almost surrender, knowing that it's gonna happen, right?
Yeah, it's about being grateful before it's even happened, you know, because you know you're going to be good. That's that level of confidence.
Absolutely.
And then once you have that, you operate from a very different level of all things, because your interactions and, you know, your interactions with people or opportunities that come your way, you're already ready for it. You're prepared. You know how to accept it. And then you start trusting your gut and listening to your instincts and just being in flow a lot more.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm in a season now too, and I said this to myself the other day, that I feel like I don't have to hustle anymore. Not because everything is on a high and everything's going amazing, right? We all want that abundance. You never want to struggle, lay a finger, right? But to me, I think I'm in a space where I'm a little bit more peaceful, knowing that what's meant for me will find me at an appointed time.
Exactly.
And until that time is ready, I'm preparing myself for that, right? And God is preparing me through that, through the different things, through every interaction, through every moment, and all of that. And I feel like I've been a lot more at peace with that, when our conversation with you will happen when it's meant to happen, because there's maybe something that as little as you read today, this morning, right? For you to add that nugget into the conversation. So I think I've been able to be a little bit more peaceful in knowing that, so I think that
Yeah,
that has given me.
what is meant for you is already yours, you know. And what is meant for you is like basically what you really want for yourself. I think a lot of people don't truly know what they want for themselves, because they're influenced by so much stuff going on around them, other people, places, and things that they think they should have, that it's confusing. So that's the thing. I think sometimes people need to slow down and just really think what really makes them tick, what really truly makes them happy. That's the time frame of like, once you've got that set, and it doesn't even have to be something that is overly stressed over.
Correct.
You know, because I think that's another thing too, is like people like worried. Like you could be a waiter and so good at it and so happy and just love that interaction every day with different people,
Absolutely.
right? And love food and love talking about it and like the repetition and like the security of that and be so comfortable and so great. And that's wonderful.
Right.
Like I love it when I come across people that just love what they're doing
Mm.
and aren't trying to keep up with the Joneses or just, you know, that's their mission. That's their
Absolutely.
mission. And they bring joy to people every day, you know, and
Yeah.
doing really well at that.
Right.
Because trust me, there's a big difference between being a waiter and being a restaurant owner.
Mm.
Being a restaurant owner, the level of stress that comes with that, it's not for everybody.
It's not.
Be able to go to your job and then come home and shut that off and be completely present for your kids is a wonderful thing.
Absolutely.
It's a gift. Being a restaurant owner, you can't really ever shut off.
Mm.
You've got a restaurant which is like having a child
Right.
that requires a constant level of attention. So you go home. And it's like with us here, it's like you have a business, you never really turned off. So sometimes I envy this thing of, well, I don't really envy it because I am doing my purpose, but I love that there are certain jobs or careers, you go to it, you do your all, you love it. And then afterwards, you do your hobbies. You spend time with your family. Like you
sure.
don't have to worry about the business.
Absolutely. You know, and
You
I
know?
think that's important too for us to be able to be in moments where we're able to shut things off when they need to be and focus on the things that truly matter at the moment. You know, in a world that's so busy, right, for you as a creative, as a leader, as an interior designer, as a founder, as a mother, how do you protect your stillness when the world kind of starts knocking all chaos and all the busyness that happens? How do you keep that noise silent?
Prayer, you know, just stillness and, you know, meditation.
Mm.
TM, meditation of just like really clearing the mind fully, you know, detoxifying the mind, as you will. I think that can be really powerful, even if you just do it for a few minutes a day.
Mm.
It has some huge impact, and
Yeah,
it's kind of like recharging. It's like
for sure.
putting, you know, that can be more powerful than sleep.
Yeah.
You know, sleep is important, but going to that other realm, even if it's just for a minute. I try to do it for several minutes each day, but you know, it varies depending on life and busyness. But I tend to start my day with that.
Mm.
A few moments in the morning of just going into a deeper meditation. I have a mantra, and that helps. It helps a lot.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because I think, stillness is super important. I feel like I've been able to practice that a lot more, just sitting with myself, sitting in the silence, sitting with my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, leaning in on prayer and just being able to be okay in the quiet,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think,
It's like you're connecting to this, the omnipresent, to this higher power, this energy, the unseen, which is so almighty. It's so powerful.
mm,
It's like the energy is just profound. I mean, clearly, we're all miracles living
right,
here, right? We're not plugged in,
for
actually
sure.
plugged in,
Right.
but
Yeah.
we're working. Like you
Right.
think everything else requires energy and to be plugged in or a battery. We
Hmm.
don't. So what is our power source?
Mm.
You know, what is our
Yeah.
life source? So connecting quietly and deeply with that life source is so and recognizing it and knowing that it exists. Just the very acknowledgement of that, I think, is kind of gives you this other energy tenfold
Yeah.
because you can make quantum leaps. Like once you become aware of the power and the energy, and then you know how to like really sort of implement it into your life.
Hmm.
Something that seemed like it could be so far away can happen in a week.
Absolutely.
You know, miracles will start happening.
For sure.
I actually am talking about it now. I'm like, yeah, I need to remind myself of this
Hmm.
and tap into some of these things and not think that they're so far away because by doing that, I'm undermining the power of the
Hmm.
omnipresent
Hmm.
and the almighty and just of like the life source, you know, and
Absolutely.
we can't undermine that.
Absolutely. And I kind of want to lean into this aspect, right? Because I think, being able to have that vision and being able to surrender, it comes with the aspect of also dreaming and never stop
Mhm.
dreaming, right? And
Mhm.
it's funny though, because as we lean in and transition more into a lot of the work that you do with Dream Awake, it's in the name,
Mhm.
right? Dream Awake, right? I'm just curious to know, like, what was the analogy or the inspiration behind the name?
Well, exactly that. I was reading a lot. I was reading Conversations with God, the Celestine Prophecy, the Master Key System, all incredible books and just understanding the power of thoughts and ideas and dreams. But we don't need to just be dreaming. Like, it doesn't need to just be when we're asleep.
Mm,
We need to take these visions that we have for our life and live them, like while we're awake, while we're here, while we're
mm,
conscious. And so I just got excited about this idea of my highest visions of what I would like and making them reality.
mm,
So that's my thing. I think when people think of just a dream, it's like, oh, that'll happen one day, or oh, wouldn't that be nice? But it's not for me,
yeah,
or, it's just a fantasy.
right.
And it doesn't have to be a fantasy.
Mm,
Like, why? Who puts that limitations on things? There's so much abundance in the world. Like, nature is abundant.
mm,
It keeps on coming and growing, coming back. Energy is abundant. Like, there doesn't need to be limitations on our ideas or on our dreams. So I just wanted to flip it, like, yes, dream awake, like not while you're sleeping. Let's
yeah,
make these things real. And that is honoring beauty, honoring God, honoring that energy that we
yeah,
have and that life force that's within us. It's letting it shine.
for sure.
I think a lot of people are also worried about being too showy or
Mm,
they really want to be humble. And then that's great. Be humble, but shine. Like, you allowing yourself to shine allows others to shine.
for sure.
There's a difference between arrogance that comes from insecurity
Mm,
and just this quiet, loving confidence and not being afraid to shine and allowing others to shine and reflect it back at you. It's great. It's awesome. And
I
then when
love that.
everyone's kind of like around you's on that same vibe, it's incredible what
Mm,
you can do and what you can achieve. So, and you have to be an example of that.
mm,
I'm
very
still
important.
learning.
Yeah.
I'm still learning, because often, the English way is like, be humble, stop showing off,
Right,
and my
right.
daughter is actually very much a performer. I'm not so much a performer, but she loves, I'm like, yes, do you, girl. Like, I'm not trying to limit her shine
For
because she
sure.
loves, she's a performer. She's always been that way since she was 2, before she even knew what it
I love
was. We
that.
saw that in her. Um, so that's been a learning curve,
Mm,
actually, learning that from her. And just then in myself, I'm like, I have to be an example for others and for other women, especially people of color,
right.
that you can step into your power and shine. And it doesn't mean to say you're trying to show off,
Mm,
you know?
I love that. Um, when you think about all of that you had just mentioned, I think there's so many things to like really tap into, right? But one that a thought came to me as you were saying is just like, what is Estelle still dreaming about now?
Hmm.
What would you say?
Um, I'm dreaming about my family thriving.
Mm,
I'm dreaming about my community thriving. I'm dreaming about the nature around us thriving and just continuing to be at peace, and for there just to be so much more love and acceptance around us. Um, yeah.
I love that, and it reminds me of a story I think you had mentioned too when you say that so much love and acceptance coming into a space like this. It reminds me of the story that you mentioned. You said there was a family that came in. It was a son, a dad, a mother,
And a
and a
grandmother.
grandmother that all picked their own pieces.
Yeah, it was so cool. I was like, yes, we've succeeded.
Right.
This is what we wanted this to be. And it was awesome because I was here for it. And the grandmother, our pleated pants are great for everybody,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
she loved them. And, the dad got something like a suit jacket. And, everybody got a piece. of something, and they all found something. We had a great time and a great conversation, and yeah, I was like, this is what we built this for.
Yeah, and I think that's such an important thing because, like you said, there's so much integrity that goes into the brand, intentionality, humility, authenticity, right? And it spans multiple generations,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think that's such a beautiful, audience to capture
Mm-hmm.
because it's like the story kind of goes through generations and generation, and that's when you think about your own family. It's just like all we truly have is our stories,
Yeah.
right? And I
Yeah.
think that's such a beautiful thing that Noah is able to capture that in real time.
Right. And we're still babies.
Mm.
Like we're just turning 10. Um,
Congrats, coming soon.
yes, it's like literally right now we're turning 10.
Let's
This is like
go.
gonna be so all year we'll be celebrating.
Let's get it.
But
And we're honored to be part of that 10-year celebration. So
yes,
thank
thank you.
you.
I think we've got to do some more celebrations. We need to slow down and just recognize it. We're like, oh, we made it to 10. But honestly, like we're still babies.
Mm,
Like my daughter's 10, and I'm like, you're still a kid. We're still like learning so
mm,
much. But I think it's exciting to think of our brand as a heritage brand, a baby heritage
mm.
brand, because we're learning, we're growing, we just kind of feel like we're just kind of really getting comfortable with our presentation and who we are and what we're about. So we've got a long way to go, but yeah, I think it's feeling really good right now.
That's what I love that. At 10 year, we pray for 10, 50 more
Yeah,
years to come. When people come into these spaces and these experiences or even wear the garments, right? What do you want them to feel?
I want you to feel authenticity, like
Mm,
you said, because that energy doesn't lie.
yes.
I want you to feel the love and intention that went into it, um, quality, timelessness. You know, you'll never feel corny or cheesy in our clothes.
For sure.
You can come and get decked out. You'll never look uncool. You'll never look too cool. You'll never look corny. You'll just look good. I think
Yeah.
that's the one thing about Noah.
Yeah.
You'll come in, you'll get an outfit, and you can be rest assured you'll just be great.
Absolutely. I love that, you definitely do get that vibe, And one of the things that I definitely want to kind of lean into, it's that untold stories of just 10 years is a very long time,
Mhm.
especially for a brand to have a retail space. But not only that, you're global, right? And you design
Mhm.
every piece, whether it's in Tokyo, in London, right?
Mhm.
All these amazing things. And it's to say a baby's like, maybe not. That you making some way in the game. And I think you say from like a very modest point, but from you and your perspective, right? As you continue to think about the next 10 years, like where are you pulling creativity from nowadays?
Well, I pull creativity from travel
Mm,
and cultures. I'm still rooted, I'm still very English. I like classic things.
yeah.
I like East Coast America. Like I like this sort of tradition.
Yeah.
I like those things, but I also just love discovering newness. I love discovering, and newness can be like super old cultures
Mm,
and old world ways of doing things. Like I really love looking back
yeah.
and then sort of bringing it into my current like inspiration. At the moment, I'm working on a design project in Africa, in Cameroon,
Wow.
and the owners of this hotel, they're art collectors.
Wow.
They care so much about craftsmanship and heritage and traditions and ancestry. So that's been like really wonderful. I'm half Ghanaian,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a brilliant excuse for me to really tap into that
And go
and
back to the
like and going
roots.
back to the
Yeah.
roots. And that's just so wonderful because there's so much beauty and design and just brilliance in um in African art. So that's very inspiring. And then, you'll probably see some of that. We're opening a store in LA,
Mm,
and it's been very exciting because it's really a much bigger
yeah.
space. So that gives me the opportunity to really sort of flex more lifestyle
Yeah.
stuff. I'm collaborating with some amazing furniture designers, and
Beautiful.
yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Honestly, I can't wait to see. I
Yeah,
definitely got to make maybe we even do a part two in LA. Get Brendan
absolutely.
in here and then do a
Yes.
whole
Yeah, I
vibe.
mean, that place, I really want that to be truly feel like a community space. Because we have the space, we'll have a kitchen in there.
Oh,
We can
word.
do
Okay.
dinners and events, and
Going back to that
yeah,
community piece.
this is going to be a really great community place.
Right. I definitely want to be mindful of time. So thank you so much for
I know we could
incredible
chat.
conversation. Honestly, I feel
First,
like
we need to
this
do a part
feels like
two.
a living room. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
we could talk.
Uh,
I want to ask you a bunch of questions too.
I'm here,
We
but
could talk
today's
for
about you.
hours.
I feel like it feels, you get that vibe here. So, for everybody watching, you got to come here to know it. You got to come here and experience this amazing thing. But as we wrap up here, there's something specifically I want to lean in on, because you said something not too long ago. You said, honestly, I feel like I'm just getting started in life, and I look forward to offering so much more, not just in this work, but in life in general. And we alluded to that, right? But when it's all said and done, when you look back at your legacy and all the amazing things that you have created through Noah, through Dream Awake, and all life's purpose, what do you want people to get away from your story?
Oh my goodness. I think what we were talking about,
Mm,
which is it's going to be okay.
mm,
Have the faith. Really, truly dream awake. That is it. That is it. Like, really, truly dream awake. I had my birthday a couple of weeks ago, and I just put out a bat signal, like, let's get together up the street from my house. And everyone came through, and there was so much love in the room. And I was so excited for friends, new friends, my oldest friends, to just really connect and like to expand my community. My love language is like connecting people so they can go off and do great things.
yeah.
Like, I love to do that. So I think this idea of abundance, to never hold on to anything too tight. There's plenty more coming for everybody. There's more than enough of everything to go around. So share your connections, share your wealth, share your happiness. It's limitless. And yeah, to try to keep dreaming awake, learn how to tap in to the source. And that's faith. Yeah.
Let's get it. Estelle, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. I just wanted to give you your flowers for just being an incredible inspiration for all the work that you do. And just thank you so much time for giving us, some space and time to just
I love what you talk about when you're saying
unravel
giving
this.
people their flowers, and when you ask that to people, like, who would they give their flowers
Absolutely,
to?
yeah. And we were gonna do it off camera, and I usually do it on camera, but I know we have a very short amount of time here today. But who would you give your flowers to?
I want to give my flowers to all the unseen, unsung heroes that are, out there every day working their butts off for nonprofits and charities that are doing all for those that can't. It's just sort of, every time I see a story on these things, I get teared up because those people have so much love. They've given their lives and dedicated their lives to people that are like struggling or have less than them or just in difficult situations. And I just think they deserve more flowers than anybody else all the time.
Totally agree. I think they, like you said, the unsung heroes that need to be praised a little bit more.
Yeah. And these nonprofit, because running a nonprofit is so difficult. Like constantly asking for money, constantly needing to fundraise. It's not an easy job. And making sure that money that you raise or the things that you gather goes to the right people. It's so hard, but you have to have so much heart and motivation to make it go well.
Absolutely.
And it's not a high paying job.
Yeah.
So they deserve all the flowers.
All the flowers. I totally agree. It's definitely something that I'm glad you alluded to, because I think those are sometimes the folks that feel like what they're doing sometimes unseen.
Yeah.
And I feel like now it's a moment that it should all be valued and be seen. So we want to remind
We're
them that
constantly praising celebrities or, and I'm just like, that's great and it's wonderful, but like these people out in the field doing the real work,
those are real heroes.
Yes, they are.
Absolutely. Estelle, thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you.
For your energy, for your presence, for the peace that you feel in this room, because you
Thanks for
created this
having me.
room. Well, thank you so much for being here.
I've
Really
loved it. I've
appreciate you.
loved our conversation, and I love what you're doing.
Thank
I
you.
love the messaging that you're putting out there by people that you're choosing to speak to.
I appreciate
You're a
it.
natural, and I think it's very much needed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't wait to do part two.
Yeah, we'll do part two.
Yeah, let's do it. I
Okay.
appreciate you. Well, there you have it. That was Off the Cuff with Estelle Bailey-Babenzien.
Cheers.
Let's get it. Oh, cheers for real.
Cheers.
I appreciate you.
No, what you're doing is really great. Honestly, I just started looking at deeper into that. Oh my God, you get some great guests. Just people that have some good stuff to say.
Yeah, and I think that's the
it's
way
moving.
We it's like I tell you, I was telling Ryan, I'm coming in here, I feel like, building anything from ground up is tough, and I'm just waiting for like that breakthrough. Like, yo, when is that gonna happen? Like having faith, but also having patience, right? And I feel like I'm there. Like, one of the things that I also wanted to say, and I'll get it from Anna too, so I can ship you some of the merch that we created. So we got Give People Their Flowers trademark. So through the grace of God,
Cool.
we gotta give people their flowers trademark. So I'm able to have my own merch and all of that
That's
stuff.
so great.
But
It could
it's
be an organization all by itself.
yes, so
right?
there's a
Just like recognizing all these people that need their flowers.
yeah. So it's definitely on the vision board and all of that. But like I said, it's like almost there. I'm just like waiting for that moment. So like moments like this just remind me to say, you know what? Someone, like you said, someone sees you, someone's giving you a chance. All right, let's take that because you just never where it's gonna go. So you just even alluded that it's time for me. That does so much for me. So I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, I think this is what the world needs right now. They need to feel that inspiration from people that they see as successful or not, but they hear that messaging. It's like a balance between you get people in by the people that they want to hear, but then you throw in other people too, and they didn't even realize that they needed those messages.
And people probably see the folks and they say, "Yeah, I want to check this episode out," but we do it in such a different way where we're learning more about you. We could tap into Noah and tap
business, but you want to know the
like
person.
the person, yeah. Because I think that's you feel like you know somebody, but you don't know them until you ask them the right questions.
Right, exactly. And you're asking the right questions, and I like that you're tapping into this idea of more of a spiritual feeling and a vibe.